It was a Tuesday afternoon, just a fender bender. A crumpled bumper, a cracked taillight, the kind of thing insurance is for. But for the drivers in that beaten-up SUV, this wasn't an accident, it was payday. Because this minor collision, this $2,000 repair, was the opening act of an elaborate play. A performance designed to exploit the legal and insurance system for one purpose: to extract a massive, fraudulent payout. This is the story of how a simple tap on the brakes could be weaponized into a multi-million-dollar criminal enterprise. Welcome back to the channel. We often think of insurance fraud as arson or faked deaths big, dramatic crimes. But some of the most costly and dangerous fraud happens in plain sight, on the roads we drive every day. It's called a staged accident ring, and it's a multi-billion-dollar problem that makes every honest driver's premium more expensive. The case we're unpacking today wasn't a high-speed catastrophe. It was a meticulously planned, low-impact collision known in the underworld as a swoop and squat. Here's how it works. The squat vehicle. This is the target car, usually an older model packed with passengers. Its job is to get in front of an innocent driver. The swoop vehicle, an accomplice car that cuts off the squat car, forcing it to brake hard and abruptly. The victim driver, that's you, the innocent person who, with no time to react, rear-ends the squat car. It looks like your fault. The police report will likely say you were following too closely. And that's exactly what the fraudsters are counting on. Our story begins with a man we'll call Marcos. He wasn't a mastermind, but he was a skilled organizer. His role was to assemble the cast for this criminal production. First, the drivers. Marcos needed reliable drivers for the swoop and squat cars. They were often paid a flat fee, a few $100s, for their role in the crash. Second, the passengers. This was crucial. The more people in the squat car, the more injury claims could be filed. Marcos recruited passengers from a network of friends, family, and down-on-their-luck individuals, promising them a cut of the final payout. Third, the professional enablers. This is where the scam scaled. Marcos had connections to a corrupt chiropractor and a shady personal injury lawyer. They were the engine of the fraud, turning a minor crash into a mountain of medical bills and legal demands. The target was carefully chosen. They needed a driver in a well-insured car. They studied traffic patterns, selecting an intersection with few traffic cameras. They even chose a luxury sedan as the squat car because the parts were more expensive and the owner was more likely to have high-limit insurance. Every detail, from the time of day to the model of the car, was calculated to maximize the payout and minimize the risk. The day of the accident, Anna was on her way home from work. She glanced at her radio for a second. When she looked up, the world had stopped. The impact was jarring, but she was okay, shaken, but not hurt. But inside the other car, the performance was already underway. Before the police even arrived, the script was being followed. They reported neck pain, back pain, radiating numbness classic, hard to disprove soft tissue injuries. When the police came, it was cut and dried. Anna had rear-ended them. She was at fault. It was just a traffic ticket to her, but to the fraudsters, it was a golden ticket. This is where the $2,000 fender bender transformed into a $50,000 claim. Within 24 hours, the entire squat car had been seen by Dr. Vance. The playbook was always the same. 1. Maximum treatment. Each victim was prescribed a lengthy, unnecessary treatment plan, months of chiropractic adjustments, physical therapy, and massages. They were told to attend every session to build a paper trail for the insurance company. 2. Diagnostic overkill. Dr. Vance would order a barrage of expensive tests, MRIs, nerve conduction studies, often reading them in the most pessimistic way possible to justify the extensive treatment. 3. The legal onslaught. Almost immediately, the shady lawyer, a man we'll call Attorney Shaw, sent a letter of representation to Anna's insurance company. It was aggressive, citing the life-altering injuries to his clients and demanding a policy limit settlement to avoid a costly lawsuit. To the insurance adjuster, it looked like a nightmare scenario, one at-fault accident for severely injured people, and a mountain of medical bills. The path of least resistance was to settle, and that's exactly what the ring was banking on. They knew that for the insurance company, a $50,000 payout was cheaper than a $200,000 lawsuit. But this time, something didn't feel right. The claim landed on the desk of David Chen, a veteran CU investigator. His job was to sniff out fraud, and his instincts were screaming. Red flag number 1. The velocity of the claim. The lawyer had contacted them within hours of the accident. The medical treatment began the very next day. It was too fast to coordinate it. Red flag number 2. The identical injuries. All four passengers reported nearly identical pain using almost the same language. The medical reports from Dr. Vance looked like they were copy-pasted. Red flag number 3. The ghost Swoop car. Anna insisted to her adjuster that a third car had caused the SUV to break. It was a minor detail, but Chen took it seriously. Chen dug deeper. He ran the VINs of the SWAT car and found it was owned by a shell company linked to several other suspicious claims. He pulled records for Dr. Vance and Attorney Shaw and discovered a web of connections, the same names appearing together in dozens of other soft tissue injury claims. The final piece of the puzzle came from good, old-fashioned surveillance. The catastrophically injured victims were living completely normal, active lives. The entire injury claim was a fiction. Chen had built an airtight case. He presented his findings to the district attorney's office, which launched a major investigation. The result was a coordinated takedown. Marcos, the organizer, was charged with insurance fraud, grand theft, and conspiracy. Dr. Vance and Attorney Shaw were charged with fraud and faced the loss of their professional licenses. The passengers and drivers were charged with insurance fraud and making false statements. In the end, the ringleader received a multi-year prison sentence. The professional enablers saw their careers destroyed. Anna, the true victim, was vindicated, her insurance record cleared. But the story doesn't end in the courtroom. You might watch this and think, so what? The insurance company caught them, but the truth is they missed them all. And the cost of these schemes is staggering. The Coalition Against Insurance Fraud estimates that staged accidents cost insurers over $2 billion a year. And that's not a cost insurers just absorb. It is a cost that is passed down to every single one of us in the form of higher premiums. Experts estimate that fraud adds between $100 and $300 to the average family's annual insurance bill. It also creates a culture of suspicion, making it harder for people with legitimate injuries to get the fair compensation they deserve. So, what can you do? Get a dash cam. It is the single best defense. It provides undeniable evidence of what really happened. Be aware, if you're in a minor accident and the other car is full of passengers who immediately start claiming injury, be skeptical. Report fraud. If you suspect you've been targeted, report it to your insurance company's CU and the National Insurance Crime Bureau NICB. The $50,000 fender bender is a stark reminder that crime doesn't always wear a mask. Sometimes it wears a neck brace. It's a sophisticated, dangerous game where the only real victims are the innocent drivers on the road and every honest policyholder who ends up footing the bill. This was the story of one ring, but there are countless others constantly evolving their tactics. If you found this deep dive into the world of Crash for cash scams fascinating, let us know in the comments. What other elaborate fraud schemes should we investigate? Smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next investigation. Thanks for watching.